Hello, hello. Come on in, everybody. So excited that you're joining me today to talk about some really interesting tools that are going to help uplift and upscale your business. So my name's Leah. I'm the founder of Get Comfy with Money, for those of you who don't know. And my overall goal is to help creative business owners and entrepreneurs in three main areas. Now, these are to do with money, but also you can translate these into business because let's face it, money is so much the core of so many of the things we do with our businesses. So the areas are around talking about money, about managing money and making money. And today, this talk is all about trying to maximize the managing and the making side. So I've devised 12 tools that are going to help you turn your side hustle or your talent into your main source of income or your main business, which I know is a hot topic in my group of followers and community. We talk a lot about money, but also we need to talk about the nuts and bolts of actually how we can get those businesses of yours up off the ground and starting to work in your favor. So as we're covering these subjects today, I am really focusing on tools that are going to help you with the back end of your business setup. So these are going to be tools that are going to help you get organized. It may be that you have a talent or a skill or a passion that you're really, really keen to turn into a business. And you already actually may find that you have a business and you are running it, but it's not maybe going as well as you'd like it to go. So you're needing some kind of assistance to help you really start to level up and get to that next stage. So the actual running of a business can be really time consuming and it can be draining and overwhelming because we can get really caught up in all of the day-to-day stuff, all of the bits that we feel that we need to focus on to keep things going, but actually we're not focusing on the overall strategy and the overall drive that's going to actually make our business profitable and move forward. So I have a number of key tools and systems that I use in my own business, which I want to kind of help by sharing with you so that you can start thinking more about the business side without letting these things take over your overarching vision. So as a business owner, I don't know about you, but I feel that there are two main key areas that your job is to focus on. So when you're running all the day-to-day stuff, that's all very well and good. But if you're not kind of having a handle over two main bits, then this is going to be the thing that may hold you back. So the first one is all about strategy. So thinking about where the business is going, where you want it to go, what your goals are for it, and how you see it kind of panning out over the duration of the life of your business. The other area is completely the lifeblood of your business, and that is content. So if you're a musician, you're the one who's creating or recording, writing, performing, whatever it might be within music. So you're the one that has to do that. If you were an athlete, you're the one that has to show up to those competitions and actually perform. If you're a startup business, you're the one who has to create the product because you're the one that knows it back to front. If you're a motivational speaker, you're the one that has to show up on the day and actually deliver the speech. So nobody else can actually do this part of your business, especially at the start. So if you need to focus on strategy and content, what about all of the rest of your business? What about the daily jobs or the projects or the acquiring customers? How are you going to keep driving those things forward and keep everything organized without feeling overwhelmed? Because the reality is you are an expert in what you do, but it doesn't mean that you're an expert in running a business. And let's face it, there's a lot of aspects that nowadays in particular we have to take on when we're a solopreneur. I don't use that term lightly, but if you are focusing on your content or your sales or your marketing, how are you supposed to kind of deliver good quality product as well on top of all of that? So this is where I come in. So with Get Comfy with Money, as I said before, it is about money management, but ultimately there's a key reason that I focus on money, and that is because it's attached to absolutely every aspect of our life. So one, it gives us freedom to make choices, which is really important in our business. If we don't have funds, we can't drive things forward. It's also really deeply connected with our mental and our physical well-being. On top of that, it factors into all of our relationships, both business and personal. And it also dictates the way we feel in a lot of ways and what we are allowed or able to say yes or no to in any moment. So it's really built into our society and the culture that we live in as well, that we need money. So it's something we can't really ignore. So having said all of that, I now want to take you through the top 12 tools that I feel will help you organize yourself and your business and will help start making it more sustainable and more profitable for you. So these are broken down into what I say are 4 different categories. One is mindset. So we got to think about our mind, getting our mind in the game. One is around having systems that we set up once, then they're done, and we can just check in. So we're not having to do a lot of manual work over and over again. One is around delegation, which is around how we can have a team or tools. It doesn't have to be physical people. It could be just, again, systems that do the work for you. And one is around accountability. So actually making sure you're there, you deliver, you get things done consistently so that you can upskill your business. So with everything, it starts with mindset. So I do want to start with a little bit of a warning. I don't think you're going to take these 12 tools, you're going to implement them, and then done, your business takes off and you start making money and you go flying. It is going to be a process. This is about setting yourself a really strong foundation to get going with a positive system, a positive foundation, so that you can start growing your business more in line with your business and your lifestyle goals. So starting with mindset, I'll give you tool number 1. Now, this is about knowing your money type. So I've devised a money personality quiz, which is a really simple little kind of fun exercise, but it also delves a little deeper into your personality when it comes to managing your money and managing your finances, as well as managing your business. So if we have a bit of a framework for where to start with, we can start using our own strengths and like identifying our weaknesses so that they don't become a problem or impact us in our business. So I am urging you to take my personality quiz, which I will send in a link after this live because I'm not tech savvy enough to actually do it during. But I'll send you a link and you can have a little look at that and try it for yourself. It's 9 questions, a bit of fun. Everyone likes to do a good personality test. So try that out. So it's about kind of setting your mind frame, getting yourself ready to kind of delve in and start looking at yourself and what you can bring out of yourself as your strengths to really help with your business. Number 2 is called Basecamp. Now, some of you may have heard of this. There's a lot of other tools out there as well when it comes to delegating and managing your to-do lists. So why is this important? Well, we can have post-it notes. And in fact, I'm going to show you now. I have so many post-it notes. They're all sitting around on my desk with different thoughts. And sometimes I do that. It's like my default setting. But when I find I put all of that information into a tool like Basecamp instead, it makes the whole managing of my to-dos much more manageable. So something like Basecamp, you get to set up projects for free. So you can have up to 3 different projects for free. And it's a really good way to organize everything that's in your mind and start putting it into actionable steps. You can set up to-dos, you can set up reminders for check-ins. So if you want to have daily tasks or monthly tasks that continue to be done, this can be done with just you as a solo person within your business, or it can be with a team. So if you have a group of people, you can communicate on there. It's a really good interface for structuring everything. So you can break it down into smaller lists if you need to kind of categorize. So for example, in my business, I have one project which is for my product or my content, one for my sales, one for my marketing. So therefore I can keep everything really clear and separate. It's another really good tool when it comes to having a team. A lot of us tend to kind of are drawn to using social media tools to communicate. So I know I myself am in many a WhatsApp group, and sometimes that can be really overwhelming if I'm trying to run a team and keep my business and my personal stuff separate. So on here you can have chats with people within the program. It's got a really easy to use app as well, and you can keep everything kind of separate. So I really recommend checking out Basecamp. And that's going to be your solid foundation for starting your business. So from there, we're on the path of organization. So we'll continue going. So tool number 3 is Google Drive. So the reason I recommend this tool is that it's got many, many purposes, and it's also free. So you can use this for all of your documents in whatever shape or form they look like. Now, there is a fee involved when you come to a certain storage limit, but it's also not very high. So I actually store everything that I use in my Google Drive for 2 reasons. 1, I love the interface, it's really easy. 2, it's also keeping everything off of my computer desktop. So if for whatever reason I'm in another place, I don't have my computer, or if my computer breaks, I am not kind of stuck to having all of my stuff on my computer and therefore not accessible. So when we talk about Google Drive, First of all, it's got file organizing. So you can organize everything really clearly for yourself. Then there's also an amazing share function. So you can share as much or as little as you want with anybody who is in your team, which is also really useful because there may be certain clients or contractors that you work with that you want them to access certain information and not others. So you can choose your sharing really easily. This can be used for things like documents. So you can write kind of similar to like Microsoft Word. So you can just write freeform in a document format. Then there's another platform called Sheets, Google Sheets, which is similar to Excel. So it's like a way to organize your numbers, create really detailed spreadsheets with formulas. Then you've got slides, so you can do presentations just the same way as if you're needing to present a meeting. Then there's also forms, which are really useful for if you want to collate information. So I collate information from my clients when they sign up with me. I might need to know a bit more information about them. You can actually create forms in there, which gets put onto a spreadsheet straight away. So you can have all your information collated beautifully. And the last one is the calendar. So the calendar is the one I definitely use day to day, in and out. And it's really, really clear and clean and easy to use. So that's why I choose Google. I'm sure there's many others out there, but this one's just become my preference because my Gmail is also connected. So I'm using my email and my calendar and all of these other tools seamlessly. The best thing about the file sharing ability is that it's live. So if I need to share a document with someone in my team, I can share it and do any edits, and they can see those edits straight away. So we're not having to download, send a file, download, send a file back. We can just do it in real time. We can see our results, and it's really just a clean, easy way to use your back system. As you can tell, I am very, very passionate about organizing. So for me, this comes kind of second nature, and I understand that it can feel a little bit overwhelming. So I completely understand if you don't feel capable of having everything at once. So I'm just giving you like a snapshot overview. You can give and take whatever you feel is going to be the most useful for you to start with. The next tool, so tool number 4, is about your organizing of your calendar. So I did mention before that I use Google Calendar, but there's another tool which is called Calendly. Now this is an automatic calendar setup. So basically before, you'd have to manually enter dates into your diary, check someone else's schedule, and there can be a lot of back and forward with email or communication on text or on the phone to try and figure a time with your client or whoever you're having your meeting with. And this is valuable time. So we live in a very fast-paced world. Let's face it, a lot of people don't have time for these back and forths. And by the time we actually get to planning a time to meet up, we're so tired from everything we're doing that it just becomes another thing on our to-do list. So I wanted to eliminate that part of the process and make it really simple and easy for clients to book times that work well for them. So Calendly lets you basically show your calendar as it is with available appointment times already there, predetermined. So I can put my calendar for the week out with all of the availability just there, using my calendar normally day to day. And then one of my clients or whoever I'm meeting with can go onto my calendar through Calendly. They can see my availability and they can click an appointment time. So it's super easy. It automatically syncs. So every time I put something in my diary, that time slot becomes unavailable. And it's also really good for managing cancellations and reschedules because it will do it. You can do it all through there. So you don't have to manually go in. The client can actually cancel or reschedule on their behalf. It also syncs to a few different programs like Zoom. So if I'm doing a Zoom meeting, all of the back end's already set up ready as soon as that's booked. So I don't have to send a link. That will all automatically go to the client, as well as reminders. So you can set up reminders so that your clients can get those little notifications before the call as well, which is really helpful. So still on the subject of organizing, my tool number 5 is a daily schedule. So I actually have a daily schedule template, which I've shared with clients in the past, and they found it really useful for their management as well. But it's something I use day to day as well. And the whole purpose is to try and limit the amount of pressure we're putting on ourselves. So what if I was to tell you that procrastination is normal? Are any of you out there constantly beating yourself up, feeling like you're never getting enough done? Because I know that's how I have felt in the past a lot. I know I put a lot of pressure on myself to perform. So I want to kind of hit targets regularly. So daily, I used to set myself huge tasks with high expectations. I'd have 10 or so different things on my list that I wanted to achieve. And maybe I'd get 3 or 4 done and I'd still feel like I'd failed because I hadn't got all of the rest done. So I've started to realize that about myself. And instead of setting really, really high expectations, I've lowered the expectations, but it doesn't mean lowering the quality of work. And it also, in a weird way, increases my productivity, because as I tick off those things, I actually start to feel really good. So the happier you feel, the more endorphins that are released by positive patterns of actually completing tasks, the more likely you are to do more. So I have a template that I use, which basically has the rule of 3. So it's all about setting those expectations to a reasonable or low level. So the 3 business to-dos that are on your list, so things that you need to get achieved that day, they need to feature on your daily schedule. Then I also have 3 quick wins. So they may be small things, again, probably related to my business, that I know if I get them done, I'll just feel really good. So that might be sending an appointment email, or I might need to just make a quick phone call to my bank. So they're just really small, low end tasks, but you know that you'll feel good getting them done. And then the last one is personal tasks. So 3 personal tasks, which may be put my washing on, or I don't know, buy some milk, whatever. So 3 things that you know you definitely need to get done that day to feel good. And if you have those all set up, then you're kind of much more likely to achieve them. And this will help with building those daily habits for yourself. So you'll be feeling good about productivity rather than like you're procrastinating all the time. Next, we're moving on to tool number 6. So this is a budget template. So we've got our life organized now. We've got our filing system in order. We have our calendar in order. We have a way to start getting clients to book in with us, and we're stuck with the numbers. So what do? We need a place to start so that we can see overall the incomings and outgoings of our business. We want to kind of start understanding the functions of the day-to-day spending, and also the money that's coming in, because that's going to bring a lot of joy and excitement and keep you going. So I have a really good budget tool that I'm happy to share as well, which is a template that you can use, that you can start categorizing all your financials. I also have a little to-do video to show you how to actually use the template so that it's not intimidating or scary, because I know that sometimes spreadsheets can really freak people out. But I've done the hard part for you, so you don't have to do any of that. You just need to plug in your numbers and look at the beautiful results. So it's really useful to evaluate your numbers. It shows you where you're going with your business, how you're going, and what areas you need to make more money in. It sounds boring, but I can tell you it brings so much peace of mind to know where you are financially too. The next tool, number 7, yes, is it's called PandaDoc. So we've got our budget set up, we've got all our systems in place. The next step is to bring our wonderful clients on board. So this could be for contractors too. We may be hiring people to help us within our team. Whoever it is that we need, it's always really good to have a contract in place. Now, even if these are friends or people that you know well, it's really important if you have that accountability on both sides. It's adding a layer of professionalism to your business, and it's also making things just really clear and transparent. So a tool like PandaDoc is really good because it automates the process. So you set up the contract once, and then you can use that template time and time again. And it's also a really easy interface to send to your client or to the person you're working with, because they just get an email, they can read through it, they can sign it electronically, so it doesn't require all of that annoying paperwork printing back and forward. It's really simple. You've got a paper trail, you're both on the same terms, and it sets the scope and the expectations for both sides. So it just helps to make the relationship much more streamlined and amenable. And now we're on to tool number 8, which is something people ask me about a lot, is how they manage their content. So if you have seen any of my social channels, you'll see I have an Instagram, I have a Facebook business page, I have a Facebook group, I have a LinkedIn account. I don't do Twitter at this moment. I'm trying to keep down the stress levels by having too many, but there is no way I could keep producing beautiful content and interesting, engaging content day to day. There's just simply not time. One, I'm not very good on social media. I don't really enjoy the constant posting and looking. It does kind of bring my energy down and drain me. So I wanted to have a system that would allow me to create all of the really good stuff, but in a way that was going to be sustainable for my own mental health as well. So I use a really great tool which is called Planoly, which allows you to schedule all of your content ahead of time. So all it means you need to do is sit down for, I would say, 1 to 1.5 days a month. that you can sit down and have a condensed session to go through your strategy for your social media. Now, obviously it's easier if you've got a team, but at the beginning you may not have enough resources or time or finance to bring other people into your team. So that's fine too. But if you could sit down for, say, 1/2 day of every month and you plan out what you're going to do for the next month of content. So the way I think is in blocks of 12. So me and my team, we work to try and create 12 different concepts or themes for the month. And within that, I say all of the things that I want to talk about for the month. And then I have a wonderful team behind me who help me trying to figure out how we can hone that into a message that's going to be useful. And then the best part is the second half day that we work of that month, which is at a different stage of the month, is for the design and the scheduling side of it. So you get that content, you write it all out, you strategize with your team to decide the best way to present it, and then you can design it all and you can schedule it ahead of time with a tool like Planoly, which will allow you to put all of the dates in predetermined, so you don't have to do a thing. The content will go out automatically. You can put it across multiple platforms. So my Instagram and Facebook business page are connected, so the same posts go out on those, and then I create slightly different curated content for my group because those members to me are really important as part of my community. So I want to make sure that there's more like personal interaction. So if you haven't joined the Facebook group already, please do go ahead and join us there because there's some more kind of personal support, and we talk a lot more about money in there too. So that's a tool that I would recommend for the scheduling side of things. And then on the other side, another question I get a lot is around the content. So as you'll notice, I don't do just photos. I don't do just videos or photos. There's a lot of kind of visual elements to some of my material, and the tool I use for this is a big hack, is called Canva. So it makes you look super professional. So this is a design tool. It is a paid for service. I think that there is a limited service which you don't have to pay for, so you could try that first for free, and you can use it on your phone. There's a really good app. You can use it on your computer, and it's so good for helping you determine the dimensions of all the different design things that you may need. So for example, on a Facebook group, you may want to put a banner at the top. It's really easy to create beautiful banners in the right dimensions. You can download things straight onto your phone very quickly. There's loads of templates, so you can use that for Instagram. You can use it for Facebook. I'm not so sure about other platforms, but those are the ones that I've used it for the most and feel the most familiar with. And it just basically makes you look way more professional if you're a bit of an amateur in those areas, until you can start affording to have a design team behind you. So now we're on to tool number 10, which is called Loom. Not Zoom, Loom. So this one, I'm not sure how many of you would know about this, but this is a really, really useful tool to help kind of visually and through audio explain things to other people. So it's a screen share software, which I know there's a few others out there, but this one particularly I like because it's very clear and organized. Again, I'm an organized freak, so for me this is like a dream. So if you have a team, this is as a perfect example. If you have a team and you want to communicate some information to them about a specific task that you need doing, you can actually send a screen share through Loom, which you can then record your voice over, so you can explain what's happening in the background and send that link to them so that they can see everything. So it saves so much time. If you have to write an email or a to-do task where you have to do step-by-step in writing form, that can take a lot of time, and also a lot can be kind of misunderstood. So if you can say it, it's a lot easier to communicate. And sometimes, especially if you work with teams that are across different time zones, you're not always able to have that one-on-one contact. So it does help you kind of be able to put that down and in a very short amount of time and then pass it on to somebody else to deal with. I use it a lot if I'm trying to explain a problem, or also for extra teaching. So with my own students, in my clients, in my coaching programs, if there's specific concepts that I know are going to be really hard to do without some kind of explanation, for example, my budget template, I can actually film my budget template screen and talk people through how to use it. So it makes it really easy to break down those steps. Now, the next tool is, this one's quite a new one in my book. So this is tool number 11, and it's called One Giant Mind, but this could apply to any meditation technique app. So I use this one very recently. I was recommended it by a friend, and I went through some training to learn how to use it. And just in general, meditation is a really important part of my own day for kind of centering myself, keeping myself calm and focused on the tasks ahead. So I really recommend some type of way that you can factor into your day, whether it's meditation, whether it's a walk or exercise. There could be different ways that you like to get centered, but incorporating that into your own schedule. So the one I'd recommend is called One Giant Mind. So check that one out. Again, I'll put all of these links down for you to have as resources at the end of the live. So don't worry, there will be some links there for you to refer to. And the last tool, so tool number 12, it was really hard to narrow this list down, I have to say. And I have got like probably another 20 or so that I could talk about, but this would end up being a really long chat. So I just wanted to start with the 12 basics. But the tool number 12 is all about accountability. So I talk a lot about this and the importance of having a backup or some kind of system or person in place to help you actually make sure you achieve things. So I have a monthly session which is called Finance and Chill, and it's a time where we can all get together and do our boring admin finance related tasks together. So I hold this on the first Sunday of every month, and it's a group session for just over an hour where it's active doing. So we're all there, we're all getting our tasks done together. So accountability really, really is key. So I highly recommend you come and join us during those sessions. If you just want to have someone kind of sitting over your shoulder virtually, making sure you're actually getting those things done. So that's my 12 tools. I hope that they've been useful for you. We've covered a lot of different themes and information. There's a lot on mindset. There's a lot on accountability, on delegation, which is hard at the beginning. I get that when you don't have the resources to have a team behind you in particular. It's really good to kind of set these things up ahead of time so that they're not going to be becoming your main focuses and they don't take away from the valuable time that you need to put towards your business. But you may feel that you need some more help, and I do actually have a fantastic program, which is the Money Mastery program, which helps to break down not only money concepts but business management. So we cover anything from mindset to setting up systems to looking at your current circumstances and kind of visualizing where you want to get. So how we can try and get you from where you are now with your business and your goals and where you see yourself wanting to be in the future. And there's also a lot of done for you elements within that. So I mentioned before having a budget spreadsheet, which I can, I've done that for you. I've taken out some of the hard work, and within this program I take out a lot of other hard work that sometimes you just need someone else to do to push you in the right direction. So if this is something that you're interested in, please do send me a DM. You can also contact me through my website. I am available on Instagram and on Facebook through the group, and I'm also happy to share any of the templates that I've talked about today. So if you want any of those, please do send me a message and I'd be happy to share them with you. The other thing I can offer is a talk. So if you want to have a little catch up one-on-one, I'm more than happy to have a chat with you, talking about your business goals, talking about how you feel about money and how we can kind of change that relationship that you have into a more positive experience. But basically, it's time for you to take the driver's seat. I think it's all very well and good me talking, but if you don't actually sit there and start taking responsibility, then the action's not going to happen. So take the driver's seat and start building the business that you really want, and start having those lifestyle goals in place so that you're living the life that you really want to, that you've been talking about doing for so long. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope that you've gained some insight into your own business practices and how you can up level and add that extra layer of professionalism to everything you do. And I will see you very, very soon. Take care.